And you are welcome. It's time for What's Up and About, and today we have a very specific topic, something we were talking about from earlier today. Let's talk phobias, but one kind of phobia in particular. I think it's called Trypanophobia, the fear of injections.
The fear of injections.
Getting injections. I don't know about you.
Saying it's stiffening again.
Oh, yeah, because
the injection is not even next to you.
I definitely have that phobia.
Yeah.
It's not like borderline type, but I just don't like injections. The idea of something penetrating into your body is not something that I really
Like
not for
titty,
show. Not for show.
No, seriously.
So no, but women have to, even if you have that kind of fear, women have to get over it when they get married, don't they?
I think there's so many.
No, you did not.
Like you went there.
Okay.
But
There's so many things to consider when it comes to injections form.
the first ever nurse that gave you an injection probably formed the way you see or feel injections for the rest of your life.
I think so. I think I even with my daughter, yeah, like when we go to the hospitals, I leave the nursing room.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
You can't handle it?
I can't handle
I
it.
don't understand.
The fear, her fear infects me.
But you're her hero.
I know, so
Fire,
one,
injection.
one out of many times I've had to go back in there to really hold her, but it took a lot. I just don't like it. But it's a valid fear. A colleague right here in the office tells a story about how when he was 8, he had an injection, had an abscess.
Abscess. Oh, okay.
And could not walk for a year.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that
no.
was
Right now, he's strutting his stuff all over the place. All the kids like, they could not walk with it.
Didn't I say that we can reduce it?
Wow.
But he couldn't walk for a year. How do you get that kind of an illness from a simple needle?
The nurse.
It's the nerves.
Yes.
The nerves.
How it is actually injected. People
Yes.
don't know. There are certain places that injections have to be put into. You don't just put it into the bum. And that's why when people try to do it themselves, they don't realize that there's a reason you have to talk to a medical professional. You need to have a medical professional do it for you. Because if you go and put it in your artery, now you Sabio, you're on your own.
Wow.
So I wanted to just give a little backstory as to why this conversation started for me. First of all, there was a video online of some medical professionals, I think some doctors, some nurses, with balloons and injecting needles into balloons.
It's blown up balloons.
Blown up balloons.
Yeah. And it's an art.
And
I never knew it was an art. Apparently, you can actually inject a balloon without bursting.
Without bursting it. And
So
those
it
are the
was impressive to
guys
see.
that you need in the hospital to give you an injection because you won't feel it.
You will know what?
Those
You
are the
won't
guys.
feel it.
I draw the line of guy. I don't know. No, I only
Come
prefer
on
nurses,
now.
female nurses.
Maria Sinoni. But talking about fear, fear is something that encompasses so many things.
Yeah.
We could talk about fear of injections. We could also talk about the recent growing fear of humans, so to speak.
Fear of people.
Fear of people,
Where are
especially
you going?
people that you're supposed to trust. And that issue is something that is becoming worrisome.
Check out that
Recently, we've been
But
having...
that's a genuine fear. though.
Yeah, that's a genuine fear now.
Yeah.
When we were younger, your parents could leave you in the care of somebody, or just a neighbor, they're fine, everything is okay. Now, to even leave your child, sometimes with a family member, is scary. Because so many things are happening. The most prominent, about 4 incidences, we have Killer Boy and Okoligwe.
Yeah.
What they did to their girlfriends. And then on the other hand, we have Baba Ijesha, who, is currently incarcerated for what he did to his colleague's daughter.
Has been castrated.
And then, I did not say castrated, I said incarcerated.
Oh, sorry, forgive me.
Ha, alakuba. And then, of
Wouldn't
course,
you deserve it?
and then, of course, the most recent, Dr.Olaleye, with his wife's niece, like the most unlikely scenario possible.
So sadly, it's not the most unlikely. It is actually the most likely.
Exactly.
True that, though.
Especially
Because
Yeah, true that.
the people that are closest to the young people are those who are in their space enough to gain their trust.
Yes.
And, so it means that we need to start educating our kids on
Here's
things
the
like
thing.
not sitting on people's laps,
Yeah.
not going into people's spaces.
But in Britain, I think in the 90s, there was a campaign that tried to stop parents from telling, because this thing where you tell your kids stranger danger?
Yeah.
It's actually wrong. Because they discovered that strangers weren't the ones who were harming the young
The children.
It was always someone they knew.
It was
Yeah.
people that you
Well,
knew.
not always, mostly.
It was mostly people
Yeah.
that you knew. So they had to change that orientation from stranger danger to, I mean, hey, be very aware of your own self.
Yeah.
You told a story about how you make sure that your daughters are
Yeah.
very aware of their,
Very aware.
what do you call it?
Personal space. If you can, spread your arms right around you,
You have a
and
right to
touch
that space.
someone, that means that person is in your personal space. And you have a right to tell the person to step back.
And you know something? Random crimes are actually very rare. In the sense that even those who eventually hurt people, they do their research. So somebody in the neighborhood can even identify because they've probably seen them, looking at that place, scouting, trying to see. So it's always a case of someone who is
called
well aware of who you are.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always a case of that.
Yeah.
And so I find it worrisome that, people now are afraid to even trust somebody. If you can't trust anyone, how do you get by?
There's a word for the fear, by the way, fear of humans. It's called anthropophobia.
Anthropophobia.
Anthropophobia. And there is a case of a man, I think in Nigeria here, was on social media only just last week, Friday. He had been locked at home,
Wow.
a very shanty home, for 75 years or so.
Oh, goodness.
He has a fear specifically of women.
Locked at home.
Anthropophobia, I just been called anthropophobia.
Wait, locked at home.
At home.
Yeah.
It was his. It was his decision. He does not want to. He said
doesn't want to have
women
contact
make
with women.
Women make him uneasy, make him scared.
There must have been a
What is
backstory to that.
Anthropophobia?
Yeah.
A fear of humans, like in case of danger, or just fear of
No, just fear of human. I think it's
Generally, yeah.
It's closer to crowds. People in large. Oh, goodness
fear
me.
of being
We're
judged by
getting.
people and the rest. Okay. Well, at the end of the day, I believe it's about time for parents to make some hard choices. It's difficult these days to put or entrust your children into anybody's care. So when you see somebody who is willing to take a back seat in their career, be it the man or the woman, it's about time for people to encourage them. This whole thing of stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads and how people say, oh, you're useless, you're this.
It's
Believe me,
You actually
it's
need.
even the best at the end of the day. If you go abroad, for example, so many people are relocating now. You see that one partner usually has to spend more time with the children because the money you say you want to go and make, guess what?
You can't spend
If
it on
not
nanny.
70 of it, 90% of it will go to a nanny. You can't ask yourself, what's the point of working in the first instance?
Oh, goodness.
So we just need to do the best we can to protect ourselves. It's the best we can do because at the end of the day, what will happen will happen. Murphy's Law.
We have. I don't believe in that. I am not of the law. I am of the Lord.
Okay,
But you know
I am
what?
of the Lord as well.
I am really interested in knowing what you think. Your thoughts on this particular topic are interesting, of course, to us, especially the middle part. I don't know. That nurse. Do you remember her name? What was the name of that nurse?
We never know their names. It's safe so. Tell us what you think. Use the hashtag wakeupnigeria on TVC. That's it for What's Up and About. We've got more inside of the.
Can you feel that?
What are you doing?
What's
Can
going
you
on?
feel
I
that?
don't
Nothing.
understand what's she doing?
I'm not doing anything.
don't
Please, let's
understand.
take a break.
Back. Stay tuned.
Yeah.